On to another part of Chaos Break. Last time we saw, the beginning of Rick's playthrough, but this time we've seen the beginning of Mituki's playthrough. And, with Mituki here, I'm going to be cutting out all the repeats that you've already seen of Rick, and we'll be focusing only on what's new with Mituki. Which for the first, 10 or so minutes, there's going to be some new shit. So, let's go straight into it, shall we, before you even do any kind of real cutting.
I'll go over the parameters of the operation. The facility which you will be infiltrating is Furuksas, Biomaterial Industries Research Laboratory number 7. It's a civilian research facility. We suspect that research taking place there is related to parasitic tissue, which was smuggled out of the National Health Research Laboratory. Infrared sensor data from surveillance satellites indicates a high probability that the facility has been contaminated by the parasitic tissue. Your mission will be to determine the condition of the research facility and retrieve the research data stored there. If a contamination accident has occurred, eliminate the cause at once. We've lost contact with the DEF agent who infiltrated the facility 2 days ago. Be on your guard at all times. That is all. We will shortly be entering the airspace over the laboratory.
Roger. The interior of the facility is probably very well guarded indeed.
How do we deactivate it?
The quickest solution would be to shut down the control system. But we'll need a pass card for that.
Doesn't look like we're gonna have it easy.
I'm just gonna talk for a little bit because this bit here is actually a part where you have to play, and it's not that noticeable that you can still interact here, so yeah.
Let's split up and check the place out.
Be careful.
I know already.
So this is Mituki here, and we're actually in a new area. This is an area that we cannot even go to as Rick, but we start here as Mituki, and yeah, we start meeting these fuckers immediately like this. So yeah, there's some new stuff here, and we'll be going ahead and grabbing it all. Now, the first thing you'll notice is the melee. Obviously, we know that meleeing these guys is the better option than shooting at them because it doesn't waste ammo, but melee with Mituki is a lot slower than Rick, and you can very much notice that, and also the radius for it is a lot smaller too, so her melee just kind of sucks. But not only that, her fucking gun sucks. It doesn't do much damage. In fact, it might be actually weaker than Rick's gun. And it's also very slow on the shooting. You can only shoot, bits and pieces every now and then. You can't shoot, rapid fire like Rick's gun can. And it's just really awkward. And it's very slow, the shots, too. Rick's shots go much faster than Mituki's here. So, yeah, unfortunately, Mituki's combat is much worse than Rick's. And we have to go through a lot of the same shit, almost exactly the same shit as Rick has gone through. So, that's really bad news for us, because it's gonna make the game much harder for us because of it. However, she does start off with 6 napalm instead of like 3 launched like Rick did. And napalm is interesting because it's an area effects to the weapon, whereas the launcher thing is like a straight up missile. It just explodes motherfuckers. Napalm is going to be a lot more plentiful here compared to Rick, so that's good news, but the bad news is that we have to use the napalm, and I'm going to use it only sparingly for now. But for the most part, we'll be using our melee and our guns, even though the guns really fucking suck. Anyway, when we get back here, we can see that we have no way to go anywhere else. We get a cutscene out of this.
Mituki, do you read me?
Yeah? What is it?
I'm in B2 right now. Come over here for a sec.
Roger.
And automatically, the game brings me down to the last floor. We can't go back to the helipad, that's not an option, we can only choose between those 2 areas. And by the way, that is it for those 2 areas, we never go back there ever again. So now we're in this area, and it's also an area that we will only be here once. And all it's for is for this, basically a cutscene moment, so let's go over and just interact with these guys, shall we? We can't use the doors at all, so don't bother.
Look at this. What do you think?
Looks like first stage parasitic infestation.
But was there anything like this in the life form samples from last time?
No, it wasn't reported. Looks like this job isn't going to go down easy, like usual.
What? What's this? It's an entry card to get into the control center.
Looks like we can get in at least.
Well, that's good. Well, let's head back and, you know, maybe be done with that examining there.
Run!
Mituki, hurry!
Jake.
Nothing we can do. One mistake and we're all dead.
You're right.
Still, that was something else. We hit it with all we had, and it didn't even blink. Is that what those cells grow into?
Yeah? But there were no reports of life forms like this in the previous operation.
You mean it's something else entirely?
I don't know. It's very likely, though, that biological manipulation at the molecular level was going on here.
So this is very interesting because now it's Larry who lives and Jake who's dead. In Rick's playthrough, it's actually Larry who dies and Jake is the one we go to. Yeah, it's really weird how this works out. And I'm still trying to find a way to make the melee work here because it's really fucking awkward and we really do need to use it because, oh boy, shooting this gun's gonna waste a lot more ammo than with Rick, so we're gonna need as much ammo as we can actually muster for a lot of the tougher enemies later on.
I'll start by contacting headquarters.
I'll check around.
And now, for the most part, we're back where we're basically with Rick. Except we have a few new cutscenes here, like for instance, the introduction of these robot fuckers. And there's one more cutscene up ahead, but as you can see, Mituki fucking sucks. Mituki really fucking sucks. I honestly believe it takes more shots to kill these guys with Mituki's guns than it does with Rick's. So, yeah, this is really bad. And as we go inside here, there's one more cutscene here that doesn't actually play with Rick, but does with Mituki. And then we start cutting a lot of shit out, because at that point, it's going to be the same stuff we've already done as Rick. I'll be going into the room where we essentially, you know, escort that guy, Cole, over to. But now Larry's there instead of Jake, so we're going to be seeing something completely different. And also, no Cole this time. We don't escort him at all right now. So, enjoy this dialogue.
That's funny. I can't raise outside. Maybe it's damaged.
This.
The same thing as the life form that was found in the accident 2 years ago.
It resulted from the same cells. I'm certain of it. Larry, fix the communicator circuits.
What are you going to do?
I want to check out the research facility.
Wait, are you going in there alone?
Don't worry. I know their ecology better than anyone.
But...
And besides, if we don't act now, it'll be too late. I doubt it'll just stay in its tube like a good boy.
Okay. We can communicate with one another within the building. I'll call when I know what's going on. Watch yourself.
I know. You take care of those repairs.
It's taking more time than I thought it would.
So yeah, no escorting right now, but we do have to go back to the research area, which means that yes, it's time for some more jump cutting. So, first of all, here are these worms. Now, usually they were very easy to take care of before, but... yeah, not this time. Mituki cannot, like, hit them further than that, so unfortunately the rest of the worms just outright fuck me over. And you know how we were able to get past this bit in, like, what, 5 seconds? Yeah, again, with Mituki, it's gonna take longer than that. It's really not good. It makes it a very awkward moment. But yeah, we just melee all these fuckers and that's it. But after that, we have to deal with the zombies, which, well, the method of dealing with these guys is still the same. It hasn't changed, luckily. 4 or 5 shots, and then melee the rest of the health away, and you're good to go. See? And now it's time for another cutscene as I just got over to here, in which we made that giant worm in the cafeteria. Let's see.
My God.
Yeah, it's the same line, but the delivery is a bit different, so, you know, I'll be showing them anyway because different line delivery with Mituki instead of Rick.
What's this hole?
Great performance, huh? Anyway, I'm gonna jump cut over to me actually doing the Sudoku puzzle now because, like I said, it's randomized, and I got the very hard one of this one. Like, I got a really difficult one out of this. If you're lucky, which you might be, you'll get a very easy one where most of the numbers are filled out. If you're like me here, however, you probably just got ones that don't give you much room to think. So, for me, I had to work up the ones on the side tier first in order to figure all that shit out, and then afterwards, I then had to figure out the giant gaps after. Now, again, this isn't that hard of a Sudoku puzzle. It's not 9 numbers, it's 6. And if you know how to do Sudoku, it's not that huge of a problem. But the main thing with this is that when you have complete blank lines, it makes it a real cunt to really figure out what goes where at that point. But you can figure out the rest of this shit, for the most part. But then you have to basically guess with the rest, and that's when you'll start making a lot of mistakes, and you're not going to understand what the fuck you did wrong until you realize later on, oh god, things are not connecting. And, yeah, I'm showing you this uncut to show you just how difficult the Sudoku stuff can be. Because beforehand with the Sudoku stuff with Rick, it was very easy and I got it done like a few minutes. This one takes the most, and also, this is the most gameplay you're getting right now, so at the very least, this isn't like almost all fucking cutscene, even though half the video is cutscene. I think that's the thing I have to make important right now, that half of this video is going to be cutscenes. But, yeah, as you saw at the beginning, we did go to a new area, and that was unique for Mituki. Only she can be in that area. There's also a room that only she can go to in the main area. But, yeah, for the most part, everything else is going to stay pretty much one for one the same. The order of things will be different, but for the most part, things will change from there. And as for things like the toolbox we got beforehand with Rick, those items will only be used by Mituki. They are useless for Rick. So, yeah, those will come into play when they come into play. So there'll be some different puzzles going on at least. But for the most part, that's going to be the gist of things. And yeah, as you can see, I'm really, you know, noticing my fuck-ups, and I'm trying to fix them out. But yeah, like, oh my god, I'm not a fan of going through Mituki's playthrough because her combat is very weak. It's very easy to get fucked in this one. I took more damage as her than Rick, but luckily she has an additional, like, drink for her, so there's that. But another thing is that with Mituki, I'm going to be showing off the timed doors, because with Rick, I'm going to get through it in about, like, 3 hours with in-game time, essentially. Whereas, with Mituki here, I'm going to show these other 2 doors for a good reason why. And as you can see, there's the new code. I'm going to jump cut now to me heading over to this room over here, in which you're going to see me fight against... Oh wait, this is actually the room where I was like, wait, can I actually use the vials here right now for that AP thing instead of coming back here when I have the timer? And the answer to that question is yes. You can put these drugs in now. So if you want to put them in right now, go ahead and do it right now. It'll save you some time. Okay, now it's time for this cutscene where there's just no dialogue to be, you know, heard. But the dialogue is changed here. They do say some new stuff outside of just, you know, the new names. Like, is the line working yet? Because he's trying to get the communications going. It's fucked. That's important. Because communications beforehand with Rick was actually perfectly fine. But with Mituki here, the communications are absolutely fucking dead. So we're going to have to figure something out with that. So... for the most part, combat is going to suck. I'm going to take a lot of damage. I'm going to have to use my guns eventually, and I'm going to have to start using the dodge button a lot more, too, in order to avoid damage, because we're going to be moving around instead of standing around shooting this time, and it's going to be very obnoxious. And, yeah, the order of things is going to be different, because beforehand we escorted Cole first, and then the female doctor, but now we're escorting her next time. Because, as you can probably tell, both of these characters are going to be escorts. And, yeah, we're gonna be dealing with her next time, the escorting stuff. But, oh boy, his thing is gonna be fun next time when we get to Rick, because this game pulls some fucking shit. Right now, though, the stuff here isn't that bad. Here's these fuckers, though. I believe these guys went down like 10 shots at best. But Mituki takes 14 shots, so yeah. As you can tell, Mituki's guns are really weak, and they're not that good. Even with 20 ammo, it takes a lot of ammo to take down one fucking enemy of these guys. And the game throws in a lot of them. Napalm can actually kill them in one hit, which is good news. The bad news, we have 9 napalm, and we really don't want to be wasteful, so yeah, that's a problem. And I'm going to go ahead and end this right now with this cutscene, which is how we ended the last parts.
Who's there? What's wrong with you?
The heart drug. The drug is in the center's infirmary. Please, please bring it to me. Thank you. You saved my life.
You look hurt. Are you okay?
These wounds aren't serious. My arm hurts a little, though.
Take it easy. Do you work here?
Yes, I'm Rachel Waring. My official title is Assistant Chief Researcher.
Then you know about AP?
Yes, it wasn't part of my work, but I have a certain idea what it was about. But to synthesize the AP, we need a component from the core life form.
Life form? That thing slithering around over there?
No, the one stored below, bred in a sterile environment. Only the chief researcher has authorization to go below this level, though. I don't know how to deactivate it.
I see.
I have a card that's good up to level 3, though. Here. This should enable you to get a lot more places than you could before.
Thanks. Now I've got to figure out how to get further down.
The chief researcher is wearing a blue uniform. How many people were in the forward passage?
I didn't interact with her beforehand, so there was dialogue right there for you. Okay, so that's gonna do it for now. And by the way, all the emails are exactly the same, so don't bother reading them. If you've already played it the first time, they stay the same the second. And yeah, that's gonna do it for this part. Next time, go back to Rick, in which we continue on with the game, and we're gonna be experiencing just how much of a fucking problem this game's gonna be as we have to deal with this chick. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.